You're listening to the Doctor Is In podcast, brought to you by MartinClinic.com. During the episode, the doctors share a lot of information. As awesome as the info may be, it is not intended to diagnose, cure, treat, or prevent any disease. It's strictly for informational purposes.
Well, good morning, everyone. Let's talk about, I got this edict that came out from the World Health Organization on food with COVID. Okay, so guys, I'm not going to spend my time on COVID this morning. We could talk about it every day, but I'm just going to tell you they got some things right and something wrong. Then I'm going to tie this in to a study that came out this week, okay? Because remember, I still get all these studies, okay? And I flag the ones that really interest me. So we're going to talk about, let me get the study up. I'll read it to you. Nutrition advice from the World Health Organization. And they get some things right, mostly wrong, but I just want to tell you what they said. Okay? Here's what they got right. Don't eat industrialized, produced trans fats, okay? Processed food, fast foods, snack foods, fried foods, frozen pizza, cookies, margarine, spread. This coming right from the World Health Organization. Hey, you got Dr. Martin's stamp on that. You got Dr. Martin's stamp. Good for you, okay? Now, here's two things they got wrong, okay? So they only put out 3 categories. 2 of them are wrong. Okay, let me, you guys know this, but I'm going to reinforce, okay? Eat unsaturated fats. Avocado, I like that. Nuts, I got no problem. Olive oil. But then they say soy, canola, sunflower, corn oils. Well, those are highly industrialized, highly inflammatory. And remember, people that if you get into the hospital with COVID, one of the biggest things they have to deal with is that inflammation response, because the body is over responding to the virus, and this one especially to the lungs. And when inflammation gets in there, you got problems, big time, breathing, and it can kill you. But they say eat avocados. I like that, it's fat. But look at, here's the other thing they said. Don't eat saturated fats. Don't eat saturated fats. Meat, butter, cheese, coconut oil, lard. Don't eat that. That's from the World Health Organization, whose nutrition is at least 50 years old. They bought the lie. Now, I want to tie this into a study that came out this week, and I want to show you, and you probably won't hear this anywhere else, but you're going to hear it here today. One of the biggest problems we're seeing in terms of a scourge, forget COVID-19, is a condition called atrial fibrillation. That's an electrical thing in the heart. And I'm going to tell you that causes more heart attacks and strokes than blockages do. Because the old clogged, you know what I mean? Go get a hose and do this to it, bend it, and the water will stop flowing. That is the old mentality of how you get a heart attack. Everything gets clogged up. Well, that's not that it can't happen. All I'm saying is the biggest cause of someone having a heart attack or someone having a stroke is electricity between the upper chambers of the heart, your atrium, and your bottom part of the heart, the ventricles, okay? And it's an electrical grid. It's an electrical grid. And that's why at the arenas or at the hospital, at the whatever, the ambulance, when they come to your home, you're having a heart attack, what do they have? a defibrillator. There's a reason for that. Because if your heart goes into a spasm, it's an electrical thing. So they put a defibrillator on you to reset the electricity within your heart, guys. This is a major issue in society today. Atrial fibrillation, atrial fib, is a major, major issue in society today. Now, can I tell you why? It's because of the World Health Organization, not just them, but the medical world in particular. You know why? Because they miss the big problem when it comes to the electricity in your heart. This is why it's an epidemic today. You know that heart disease and stroke is still the number one killer in society today. Cancer's coming up there. Cancer's coming up. But cancer hasn't hit yet what heart attack and strokes do. The vast majority of them are due to the electrical grid in your heart. Why? Because people have bought the lie, primarily, that fat makes you fat and fat gives you cholesterol. My case in point, here we are with the COVID diet for adults, and they're telling you for your immune system, because that's what they're talking about, right? I mean, they came out with this diet, and what it is fat is dangerous. You need to have mono unsaturated fat. Don't have saturated fat. Guys, you need fat, and you need saturated fat. Eggs, meat, and cheese for your heart. Why? Dr. Martin, that doesn't make any sense. Why? Well, never mind what it does to your insulin, which creates inflammation. Remember what I said. Inflammation, huge issue. But do you know that even the synapses, the little electrical grid that you have in your brain, doesn't work without fat? I told you guys that. That's why I'm so big on cholesterol. You need cholesterol. It's not the boogeyman. It doesn't cause heart disease and stroke. I know that sounds crazy because we've been pumped for 50 years, longer, 60 years. Don't eat that stuff. You know, you see a piece of meat, get a lean piece of meat. Ladies, have some chicken and don't eat the skin. Have you been told that? Yes, you have. Eat the skin. Yes, eat the fat. You need fat for your electricity in your brain and in your heart. You need fat. Saturated, dripping fat. That's why saturated fat tastes so good, because it's drippy. Guys, we have been lied to for so long that you take you go to your, let's do a survey, and 99% of the population, 99%, they hammer it. Brought to you by the cereal companies. That's who started it. Do you know that the cereal companies, they weren't stupid. They hired the people from the tobacco industry. What marketers they were. I told you the story of my dad. My dad thought smoking was good for you. He used to give, here, you don't want to clear your lungs out? Here, have a cigarette. I'm not kidding you. That's how old I am. I remember that. The only dent in heart disease, and it really wasn't a dent, is when people stopped smoking. Our diets are killing us. Atrial fibrillation is a horrendous problem in our society today because there's not enough fat in our diets. That's number one reason. And part of that equation is this for atrial fib. When you replace fat, eggs, meat, and cheese out of your diet, I get young people coming in. Oh, Dr. Martin, I won't have anything with eyeballs. If it's got eyeballs, I won't eat it. That's the young generation today. You wouldn't believe how many millions of young people are drinking the Kool-Aid that they ought to be a vegetarian or a vegan. There's nothing worse for you. Nothing worse for you. But they're buying it. Has to do with two reasons. One, animals, they love their animals more than they love people. I hate to be negative, but guys, that's a fact. So they won't eat anything that's got eyeballs. And the other one is the climate. They believe that they can, cows are farting. And I'm not kidding you guys. Like, it's almost funny, but I'm telling you, don't eat any meat. All I can tell you, here's what I know. To grow soy and grain and all your vegetables and all that, that's a lot harder on the environment than cows are. They strip away. Corn strips away the topsoil. But anyway, I don't want to, that's a political thing. I don't want to talk about that. I want to come back to your heart. And whenever you think of your heart, think of your brain. Your heart's a muscle, but it needs electricity to work properly. Just like your brain is primarily fat. What's good for you in food? Fat and muscle. So, okay, so they bought the lie. The cereal company started it. I watched them do it in my lifetime. And they just hammered. Don't eat that butter. Don't have butter. Don't eat steak. Don't have hamburger. They're blaming the hamburger for what the bun is doing. It ain't the hamburger. It's the bun that turns to sugar in 5 seconds. Oh, Dr. Martin, it's whole wheat. So what? It's going to be sugar in 5 seconds, and insulin is going to send it into your liver, primarily, as fat. And when the liver gets full, we talked about this yesterday, you're going to have high levels of triglycerides in your bloodstream. Very dangerous. That's where the blockages come in. But the electricity is the diet too, because we're eating fat-free. Oh, Dr. Martin, I have fat-free yogurt. Well, you're stupid. Honestly, I've never said that to a patient. Never said stupid. I said, you're weird, but I won't say the word stupid. Some people get offended by that. Guys, you got to know me. I'm controversial. I don't know if it was because we had 11 kids in our family. You had to speak up to be heard. All I'm saying is, guys, we bought the lie and look what it gave us. It gave us more heart disease than ever. There's more heart disease and stroke than ever, not less. If cholesterol was true, if the theory of cholesterol was true, we would have got rid of heart disease. It would have been like it was in the 1910 when it was 10%. 40, 50, 60% of the population have trouble with cardiovascular issues, high blood pressure. It's food. You know what one of the factors is? Listen to this for atrial fib. You know what one of the factors is? Kidneys. Kidneys. You know how you stress your kidneys? Sugar. It's insulin, guys. High circulating insulin. Too much carbs? Because if you don't eat eggs, meat, and cheese, you know what you're replacing that with? Look, the vegetables are all right. But you're mostly replacing it. Here's what they know. I'm only telling you what even the World Health Organization would tell you this. They replace it with vegetable oils, soy, rice, beans, lots of carbs. There's some protein in there, but it's not the same. It doesn't have the wide. You see, when you have a piece of meat, guys, you're getting all the amino acids. You need all of them. Here's a problem. When you don't eat eggs, meat, and cheese, You're not getting all the amino acids. Well, what does that have to do with your heart? Your heart's a muscle. And one of the byproducts of you eating eggs, meat, and cheese, two things. One of them is you're elevating L-carnitine, L-arginine, L-lysine, L-taurine. Those are only found in eggs, meat, and cheese. Those are all good for your heart. And a byproduct of eating, by the way, and even, I'm not going to say most doctors, but some doctors understand this because they take a nutrition course. By the way, I'm going to be giving a nutrition course very soon. Take it. I want doctors to take it because I'm going to teach them the basics, which they're not getting in medical school. One of the byproducts of eggs, meat, and cheese is CoQ10. Guess what is low in people that have atrial fibrillation? CoQ10. CoQ10. Your heart muscle depends on it. You need fat and you need protein. And you need specific proteins with those amino acids to make CoQ10. You guys hear about CoQ10, right? You know what that is. But your body makes CoQ10. But only when you eat the right things. I know. I'm going to get it. I'm going to have people mad at me. I'm going to get people mad at me because they don't like to hear that, especially the young generation or even my generation who get up every morning and have, oh, Dr. Martin, I can't have bacon and eggs. That's bad. I got to have my cereal. That's what I talked to you about when I did my trip to Costco last weekend. They got boxes bigger than your house of cereal in their carts. Read the labels. Dr. Martin's blood pressure was going up in Costco. Well, one of the reasons was because everybody, they got their hockey. They don't have a hockey stick, but thank God. Don't give people a hockey stick. They'll hit you with it. People are so uptight about you keeping your 6 feet away from them. Don't give them a hockey stick. They'll kill you with it. I'm walking down the street and people go, well, wait a minute, I thought it was 6 feet. They're going 600 feet away from me. They're scared, skinny. See what fear does? Here's what fear does. Fear changed our diets. Oh, don't eat. Look at bacon and eggs. Look at all the fat on that. Fat is what is clogging your arteries. No, it's not. Sugar is clogging your arteries because sugar makes fat balls, triglycerides. And people today have very low cholesterol. Why do you want low cholesterol for? That ain't good for your heart. You need HDL, good cholesterol. And I don't care about, there's only one bad cholesterol and it's not even cholesterol. It's called triglycerides. Biochemistry 101. But fear, true or false, we've seen it now with COVID, right? Fear. People are squealing on each other. I watched a video yesterday with a lady getting arrested in the park. She was with her 2 kids. They arrested her. That's all right, though. You can go outside and have a smoke. Oh, but you're social distancing. Our society is crazy. I hate to say it. Oh, you can have a smoke. Go outside and have a smoke. Don't smoke indoor, but, have your cigarette and have your Pepsi and have your sugar and have your cereal. And ladies, have your yogurt, fat-free. But that's all right. But don't come near me or I'll hit you with my hockey stick. Guys, I tell you. Now, I got to tell you one more thing, okay? I got a few minutes here. Let me tell you another thing about a grid. We talked about you need CoQ10 for atrial fibrillation. You want your heart electricity to work, you need CoQ10. That comes from eggs, meat, and cheese. You don't need a supplement of it unless you're not getting enough. And if you're on a statin drug, They'll even tell you on TV, if you're on a statin drug, a cholesterol lowering medication, they'll tell you that it strips away your CoQ10. So you better take it as a supplement. That's why we have it in our heart and brain formula for people that are taking statin drugs. So CoQ10, fat for the electricity. Fat makes up those little electrical grids in your heart. You need to eat fat. And then thirdly, you need water. I'm telling you, one of the biggest factors in heart attacks and strokes is dehydration. Guys, you only have to follow me for years because I've been talking about vitamin W for a long time. Today we talked about vitamin S, steak. We're talking now about vitamin W, water. You need water, and only water is water. Oh, Dr. Martin, I had a coffee this morning, right? I had a coffee. I watch it. It's 98% water. I know, and I love coffee because that's vitamin C. It's actually good for your heart. It's a powerful antioxidant. But you need water for think of it, guys, what makes, like Niagara Falls, what do they do? It's beautiful, right? Go to Niagara Falls? Well, you can't go right now. I'm sure that's blocked off too. Oh, woo, 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 woo. I mean, we can't go to Niagara Falls. Don't come after me, okay? I can't stand it. Anyway, they harness power, electrical power from the falls. True or false? Yes, it's true. You need water for electricity. And you guys, your body is like planet Earth. Did you know that? Your body is like planet Earth. What's planet Earth? It's 70% water. So is your body. Your water, you need to replace it. You need 2 liters of water a day. Not fluids. Not fluids. Orange juice isn't water. Apple juice isn't water. Tea. Somebody said, Doc, can I drink tea? Why would you drink tea when you can drink coffee? I don't understand it. You can have your tea. I don't care, but that's not water. You need water for your heart. You got it? You guys get it? Atrial fib is a huge issue today because of our diets and people not drinking enough water. They're dehydrated. Nobody's ever told them. Nobody ever told them. Doc, I'm not dehydrated. I'm not thirsty. Don't wait till you're thirsty. Drink 2 liters of water. Drink water. I didn't have my coffee this morning before I had half a liter of water. For my American friends, that's 16 ounces of water. Have 16 ounces of water first thing in the morning. Oh, Dr. Martin, I don't like water. It doesn't have the taste of it. Get used to it. Suck it up, buttercup. You need it. It's vitamin W. Your body can't live without it. Suck it up. You can form habits. Oh, Dr. Martin, like water. Can't I flavor my... No, you can't flavor it until you've had 2 liters. If you have 2 liters, you want to have tea, I have coffee, guys. I love my coffee. But it ain't water, guys, for your heart. I want to protect your heart. I want to protect your heart. You want to cause inflammation? Don't drink enough water. And you won't know it. You won't know it. Because there's no red light going off the top of your head. I'm dehydrated. I'm dehydrated. I'm dehydrated. Wouldn't it be nice if we had that little light? Add water, add water. But we don't have that light until you start drinking water. And then your little light will go on. Because once your body gets used to water. And by the way, just let me finish with this. You have 60,000 miles of blood vessels. You know what your heart is? It's a pump. To pump your blood through 60,000, 1.5 times around the equator in your body. Arteries, Veins, capillaries, 60,000 miles. And that pump 100,000 times a day. That's what your heart does. Think of what makes it easier on your heart is when your blood isn't like soup thick. Water is the best thing to make the river of your blood vessels. Your blood goes through 60,000 miles of river. And you know what? To every area of your body, you need that blood to get there, and your heart has to work harder if you're dehydrated. And your muscle won't be near as strong if you don't have CoQ10. And how do you get CoQ10? Eggs, meat, and cheese. I rest my case. Now, where's the police? Are they going to come and arrest me for talking like this? Maybe. I love you guys.
You've reached the end of another Dr. Is In podcast with your hosts, Dr. Martin Jr. and Sr. Be sure to catch our next episode, and thanks for listening.